fans, we have finally done it. We've got our very own streaming platform.
Yes, get in there.
Today, we're going to be doing our top 10 horror movies that you can watch on Shudder. Now, it's a mixed bag between original horrors on Shudder and some classics that they've got on there.
Yeah, I do love Shudder. It can be a mixed bag for some people, but they've got some good classics on it. So when I was making my list, I always, because I see a lot of bad older films pop up, films you've never heard of. You assume, oh, this is just a trashy thing. But when you actually look at what it's got so many great movies.
It has.
Real classics, you know, old and new. I wanted my 10 to be, like, for example, Day of the Dead is on there, okay? I didn't want to say Day of the Dead because it's an obvious one. I'd rather this be a bit more of, not hidden gems, but just people to give it a chance, you know? Even if you're not a horror
100%
fan.
agree with you. I'm quite similar myself in my picks,
So my first pick, again, these are not really in order apart from the last one. It's called The Room. Came out in 2019, not to be confused with the Tommy Wiseau Room or The Room. Is it? Yeah, The Room. If you know anything about that film, I mean, that's awesome in a different reason. But this is called The Room, and also not to be confused with Brie Larson's film Room.
There's got to be some copyright issues out there somewhere.
I don't think you can copyright a title unless it's called Salem's Lot. But yes, not to be confused with the Brie Larson brilliant movie Room, about the room. It's just called The Room. Oh, fuck, stop saying Room.
Anyway, just review The Room.
Yes, all of them, all three of them. This is just the Room video.
Which is the better room?
So, I can't describe this film without saying the word room, okay? A young couple, Kate and Matt, move into this big house. It's like a mansion. And they don't have a lot of money and things, but they find this this room, like hidden, this doorway hidden behind wallpaper and things, and they rip it open it up, and there's a room in there. Can't say room. And then whatever they wish for, it ends up in the room, and it's awesome. And they can wish for money, whatever they desire. They can have money, they can have whatever they want, lavish things, and it gets very addictive. Now, things turn very sour quite quickly. Because this, even though this has been out for 5 years, a lot of people haven't seen it, haven't heard of it, so I don't want to say more than that, but it's the typical, you know, things you wish for. It's not quite the same as like Wishmaster, where the opposite happens. But if you watch it, you can see what happens. It's a kind of a twist on it. I think you recommended this to me a while back, isn't it?
I did, and it is a fantastic film. It's another one of those movies that, and this is what's great about Shudder. You can just scroll and something will catch your eye, and you may not necessarily have ever heard of it. You just chuck it on, and it turns out to be great. There's not many movies that I watch on my own that I recommend to you, Jenks, but obviously this is one I think Jenks might enjoy this one.
Yeah, and for me, you're a bit like the canary down the coal mine. You'll watch all the shit, and then you'll filter out the half decent stuff. For me, hardcore. I'm too classy to waste my time going through Shudder.
I love that. I live on Shudder. I've had it since the day it was released.
I tell you what, you've got a Breaking Bad tattoo and an Evil Dead. You should get Shudder as a tramp stamp at the bottom of your back. Proper fan. Right, what have you got for me, Ed?
Right, not necessarily in fifth place. I've just put a year because I have got 5. And I've got Dario Argento's last great movie, and it's one of his best, and it's Opera. Now, this movie is a certified masterpiece, and not enough people know about this because it came towards the end of Dario Argento's career. Just after this film, his career dropped off a cliff. I know some people will argue Stenfeld syndrome, trauma, and all those are okay. I don't think they're very good at all. But Opera is as good as his best movies. Not far off Suspiria. My girlfriend actually preferred Opera to Suspiria.
Okay.
But This film is fantastic and it is massive. It's basically about an opera and it's Macbeth. Everyone thinks that Macbeth is a cursed opera. And the main star of the show falls ill and they hire this young up and coming female to take the lead role in this opera. And the curse set it is, bad things start happening, and there's a serial killer picking people off one by one. And it's probably one of the more classier Dario Argento movies. Now, he's not schlocky. A lot of his films are classy, but oh my God, this movie blew me away. This was the last Dario Argento movie I watched. I always put it off because I'm not really a fan of operas, and I
Yeah.
thought it was similar to Phantom of the Opera. It is in some sense,
Yeah.
but oh my God, this film is so good. And if anyone has seen opera, you know what scene I'm talking about, but it has got one of the greatest and well put together kills ever. And it's when she's looking for the keyhole and the bullet travels through the keyhole. I won't say anything else, but the first time I seen that, it absolutely blew me away. And this guy, when he was at the top, he was an absolute master. And this is one of Dario Argento's finest movies.
Yeah.
Recommend this one highly.
I haven't seen it. I've only recently watched Suspiria, and I tried to watch the new one as well.
Yeah,
Because I hadn't seen either of them. I thought maybe I watch the American one because it's meant to be pretty good. Um,
it
because
is. Yeah,
yeah, because
in
some
its
film,
own way.
yeah, but I think I might have fallen asleep, not because it was crap, but I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
might give this a go because it sounds a bit more up my street, even though I don't like opera. Um,
Oh, it
but
is so good, Jenks, and it is a really good horror movie, and it's a lot of, like I said, a lot of his films are classy, but this one was a class above, if that makes
yeah,
sense. Like I
yeah,
feel like just a regular horror fan can watch this and enjoy and
yeah.
appreciate it for being like a solo horror movie.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Right. Right. My next pick. We did review this a few months ago, so I was reluctant to put it on the list, but probably nobody watched our video of a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yes, because we got like 30,000 views now, as if we wish. Anyway, it's Late Night with the Devil. It came out this year. It was kind of made by Shudder. It did have a theatrical release, but
Yeah.
it was on Shudder after a few weeks, I think, of coming out. And it was, I don't really know the numbers, but I think it was a surprise hit. I think it did pretty well for such a low budget. The premise is straightforward enough. It's a 1970s talk show. And the guy on it, the main talk show host, he's struggling. He needs a big show to sort of save his career, and he does a show, a Halloween special. He has a girl who's supposed to be possessed by a demon. He has a psychic on, or a guy who disproves psychics, and things start going wrong slowly. And it's a bit like, not like, it's like Alan Partridge. If you're from the UK, you know Alan Partridge, where you got this fake TV show, not like the documentary, like The Office, but uh, everything is exactly like, so. It's the length of the show is the length of the movie, if that makes sense. And when they
Yeah.
got ad breaks, you see him behind the scenes. Now, I know you weren't as much of a fan of it as me, but I really loved it. I love that 70s look. It captures it perfectly. I love the ending. And I can see where it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you like Ghost Watch, it's got a bit of it about it. I know you're a big fan of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have loved this film, and I think that's why I was so disappointed. Because I should have loved it. It should have been movie of the year because it's got everything I need and want from a movie.
Yeah.
And I love stuff like VHS and Ghost Watch, like these experimental, like real, meant to be real things.
Yep.
But I just don't think it was a cinema film. And I think if I had just chucked it on Shudder on a Saturday night, I would have loved it. I
Yeah.
am yet to give it a rewatch, but I definitely need to. I didn't hate it. I was just disappointed.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think you're right, but because one of the things that was good about it was, I'm not very good at aspects. No, they had the small aspects from the
Yes.
70s. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they used. I don't know anything like that. But all the way through, it was very authentic. And the way that the actor, I can't remember his name now. It's really hard to pronounce.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's so authentic. The lines he delivers is spot. The humor he uses
Yeah. He's great. Like,
is very
yeah.
much of the 70s. The kind of lame jokes. You have lame jokes now with talk shows, but there was a different type of lame joke in the 70s. It's very well done. Yeah. So what have you got, Kurt? What's next?
Right, in fourth place, I have got Creepshow 2. I think this is a fantastic sequel. I am a huge fan of anthology movies. I will jump on any anthology film. I've seen them all. Any anthology movie out there, I've seen it. And I love the majority of them because I just love the concept of
Yeah,
filmmakers coming together. In some cases, the filmmakers directed every segment, but a few directors coming together and everybody picking each other's brain and putting something together as a whole movie. I'm just a huge fan of the concept. Creepshow does it best because it's got that comic book aesthetic, and you've got the creeper who ties everything together. I just love everything about it. And the stories are weaker in the second one, but it's still got that aesthetic that I love. And again, this is just another film I loved when I was a kid and I still love now. But what I will say is Creepshow 2 probably has my favorite short film of all time, and it's The Raft.
yeah,
Now, that still to this day, oh my God, I go on YouTube and watch it on its own. When I don't feel like watching a full movie, I will go on YouTube and I will just watch that. I will watch that one on its own because it is just amazing. It's
yeah,
so well made, it's so well put together. And I love low concept horror. You got a group of friends, they go to the lake, and there's a raft in the middle of the lake. They swim over to it, and this black blob sludge that floats on top of the water has slowly started circling them. And it's just got some awesome, horrible deaths.
yeah,
And it still gives me that bad feeling in my stomach watching it. This one has less segments than the first one. I think the first one's got 5, this has got 3, but all 3 relatively good segments. Again, the first one is nowhere near as good as any of the segments in the first one, and then same with the third
yeah.
one. But a very, very solid sequel. And if you've seen Creepshow 3 and the series, it'll make this one even better.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Creepshow 2. I really like The Raft. I think that would have made a really good 80s movie, like an
Yes.
85-minute movie. I could have built up the characters a bit longer, and you just have to expand it a slightly because it's a really good body horror movie.
Yeah.
Um, do you know what it is with me with Creepshow? Like I said before on a different podcast, the stories are all very much like just revenge, a zombie coming back for revenge, for revenge. And the Indian one of the first segment kind of just goes nowhere for me. And I've always liked the first Creepshow more, but yeah, I
Oh, of
struggled with the
course, yeah.
second one. I can't even remember what the third segment is now. I know the raft is in
It's
the
the
middle.
Hitcher.
Oh yeah, again that goes
Yeah.
nowhere as well for me.
Oh, it's a really good segment. I like that one. You do have a point about, monster or revenge. But again, like it's all about the aesthetic and what it brings. Sometimes I don't need a beginning, a middle, and an end and a big reveal. Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah,
it's a short segment, just give me something snappy that
yeah,
looks great.
yeah. Fair enough. There's a segment in one of the VHSs that almost reminded me of the raft when they're on the boat and they all getting shot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they can't die or something. I can't remember now.
Yeah, yeah,
Wh-
they can't die,
Which
yeah.
one was that now? Forgotten.
It was 85, the newest
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Right. My next pick, unfortunately, is another one we've recently reviewed, but again, I couldn't not say it because if you haven't seen a review, then you might miss out. It's called Infested.
Yes.
It's a French movie. Now, don't be put off by the subtitles because it is worth it. I know not everybody likes subtitles, and I do understand. I'm not a massive fan. It's much easier not to read all the way through. But this film, you cannot miss out. Like I know you're not scared of spiders, so you didn't have the same fear as me. But I have a genuine fear of spiders, big house spiders, and this is the most. If you've got arachnophobia, this is the most frightening movie that has ever existed in history. They're by the size of a big house spider, but they're fast and they're going in your hair, and it is so frightening. Set in an apartment block, and there's an infestation of spiders. This new strange breed that can grow really quick and multiply really quick, and they think it's some sort of virus. So they've been quarantined, not knowing there's a spider infestation inside. So they're trapped. It's a really simple premise, especially since we've lived through a lockdown, and you can know, like,
Yeah, yeah.
do you know what? One sniff of some virus, they will lock us down. So it's really easy now to go, yeah, that would happen. And great performances. But but it's got some of the most horrific scares ever. Even like, I know you said you watched it with your missus, your girlfriend, and she's scared of spiders, and she was squeezing you. You said,
Yeah. Proper
yeah,
squirming watching it like. That is an absolute 5-star horror movie. I am a huge fan of that. And again, it's a Shudder original. These are the moves Shudder are making
yeah,
recently, and
yeah,
this is why they are slowly coming on top as as like the top horror producers in the world, because they are making some great movies. When I was watching Infested, there's something that I wanted to mention that I noticed that I didn't mention in our full video on it. So after we finished filming ours, I was like, oh, I didn't bloody mention the thing I wanted to mention. And it's the opening. It's got the exact same opening as Brain Dead. Now, I don't
yes,
know if they've seen Brain Dead or if they're a fan of it and it's an accident, but it's got the exact same opening as Brain Dead. They're in a foreign
yeah,
country. They take them somewhere to find a particular something that they shouldn't be getting. And I'm sure he gets bit and they kill the guy. It's like, no, this
yeah.
has
You're
got to be
right.
gone.
It chops his hat. Yeah, in Brain Dead, and then chops his head off.
He's
Uh,
got the bite.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Actually, now you're saying that, maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's a
Yeah, maybe.
homage. But well, the guy who's made Infested, as you know, is making the new Evil Dead movie. That's how good Infested is. Sam Raimi's
Yes.
handpicked him. He has not missed a beat yet, picking his two films, Evil Dead 2023, 2023 and
2013, yeah.
13. Yeah, he won't miss a beat. Yeah. What's your next choice then, Kurt?
So it's no surprise to you, Jenks. I have VHS 2. I am a huge fan of this franchise, and anyone that's watched our videos would have heard me bang on about these movies multiple times. Now, Shudder has every single VHS movie on there. I would have put all 5 on here, to be honest. But I thought, no, I'll just pick my favorite VHS, and it's VHS 2. It is by far the best one. It's the most complete one. There isn't one weak segment in this franchise. I will admit, the majority of them do have that weak segment, but VHS 2 just hits on every
Yeah.
level. It's got Gareth Evans' Safe Haven again, which is another one of my favorite short movies. I met Gareth Evans, and the first thing I wanted to talk about was his segment in VHS 2. I thought, I'm not going to mention the raid. We're here to see the raid. I want to talk about Safe Haven because that short movie blew me away. But not to delve into individual segments here, but if anyone hasn't seen these movies and doesn't fancy watching them all, if you want to watch a really well-made, complete horror anthology, they're all found footage. VHS 2 is absolutely the place to start because it is by far the strongest one.
Yes, I completely agree. They are a massive mixed bag, all of them. The first one has some decent moments. The second one is excellent. All the segments are great. I really liked. I could be wrong. Is the segment the first one with he has new eye?
Yeah, that was directed by Adam Wingard.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I really enjoyed that. I was right up my street because again they had a start, middle, and end. All the stories. It wasn't just
Yeah.
monster of the week, big slime monster. For me, the other movies, VHS Fire was okay. I know you hated it more than I did, and then you had a few more 85, 94. Fucking hell, there's loads. But a lot of them are shit. There's some good ones, I think. Was it 84? Which one's the robot one with the?
That was
the-
94,
That's
yeah,
a good one.
94.
But yeah, without a doubt, number two was the best one, and I really hope the new one now has some decent directors.
Oh, VHS Beyond. Well, one of them is being directed by Kate Siegel, who is Mike Flanagan's wife or girlfriend, and he's written it.
Yeah.
So come
I
on,
Is
like,
she any good at directing? I mean, is it
but
just net?
he's bound to be by her side. They're gonna make it together, and
Well,
they
it
like,
could be nepotism. It could just be like, "Yeah, love, it's excellent, well done, yeah, yeah." Because like, I'll sort it out in the edit.
yeah,
Uh,
delete.
yeah, I'll just direct it when she's in bed.
Yeah. Shh, guys,
Right.
keep it down, keep it
Yeah.
down.
Shh.
Right, we're going
Okay.
in 6.
Yeah. I don't remember a big CGI monster. Yeah. Right. My next pick is again, it's not one of the best films on there. There's loads of better films, but I wanted things that I liked and I think people will enjoy. I might have given this only 3 stars, maybe 4 stars, but it's still worth a watch. And it's 1BR. It's a funny name. One
Yes.
letter B R. Okay, and it came out 2019, and I love films where it's basically about a girl called Sarah, and she moves into this apartment complex, and it's kind of like a community there because they've got a barbecue here in the middle. We're not from America, so I don't know how common this type of setup is, but it seems to be a nice community. All the neighbors look out for each other, and it's like he's the manager's a guy called Jerry, and he's very friendly. And she's thinking, "Oh, this is brilliant! Like, what? I can't believe how good this place is." Obviously, things start going wrong, and there's something off about it. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a trailer for this, so I don't really know how much I can give away. But if you like films where you're going into something and everything seems great, and then slowly things start pi- going wrong, picking away, there's cameras watching her, there's something off, and there's something off about Jerry and everything. I really love films like this. It's got its flaws, but if you want if you like this kind of thing, like a bit like The Rental that's on Prime, that
Yeah.
kind of setup, I think you might have recommended this to me as well.
I did, yes. I'm a huge fan of this film. Like you said, it's got its flaws, but
Yeah,
it's a very good one location concept movie, and it is one of the better ones. I really like this film. I think I've watched it twice. But yeah, again, another great film coming from Shudder. I love this
yeah,
film.
yeah, good one.
It's
Well,
one of those movies as well. The community there is so good. When things start going wrong, you're like, no,
I
I wish
know,
this movie was a drama or a
I know.
comedy.
They're having barbecues and everything.
Sometimes I watch horror films and I'm like, oh, I wish this wasn't a horror film.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like when you like watching Hostel. Oh, why can't that Hostel be really real? Because those fit women, start cutting people open.
Turns into pokies like.
I still take my chances in Hostel with those girls. I know the risks,
Worth
but
it.
I'm willing to take. Right, what's your next one?
Right, in second place, I have got one of my favourite movies of all time, and I've got Lamberto Bava's Demons. This one was produced and written by Dario Argento, and this is one of the finest horror movies ever. If you're looking for blood and gore, if you're looking to throw your thoughts out the window, just enjoy yourself for an hour and a half. It is the best movie for it. Now, I'd put it in the same category as Evil Dead. It
Yeah,
doesn't take itself too seriously. It's proper out there. It's basically about these two girls. They get invited to this late night screening at a metropolitan cinema, and they turn up. They get locked in the cinema, and demons take over the cinema. There's something to do with this metallic mask that cuts one of the females. Now they are watching a demons movie, and then the demons from that film come into there, and they're basically stuck in the cinema for the whole film. And it has got some of the best and disgusting ghost scenes you will ever
yeah,
see. This is one I go back to all the time. I love this one and the second one,
yeah.
but this right. So the second one I always thought was my favorite because I love the location more. I love what's it called? High complex
Yeah,
buildings
apartment
like.
buildings.
Yeah, I love that, but I think Demons 1 is better and it's got a lot more going for it. I think Demons
Yeah.
2 is a bit slower. I love them both,
Yeah,
but
I grew up with demons myself. My your father introduced me to
yeah,
demons when I was
same.
about I was about 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
And
demons. Sorry, carry on.
no, it's okay. And it's got that amazing, awful English dub. Now, I cannot watch this film in its original form. You have to watch it dubbed because you've got those scenes, like random scenes where people say things it doesn't seem like they're saying.
Yeah,
And it's just part of the experience. I think any of these like 70s or 80s Italian movies, you have to watch them dubbed because it just
yeah,
adds to the value of them. But oh my god, I absolutely love this film. It is one of my favorites. I've actually for my birthday now, I've booked a demons tattoo, so I'm gonna get the crow mask from the first movie on my hand. That's all
right.
booked and
Oh,
paid for.
I thought you were gonna have it on your face.
No, no, no. But
um,
Yeah, huge fan of this
Yeah,
film.
you're right. I was gravitated to the second one because it's a little bit more stylish, a little bit more money pumped into it. Looks like anyway, it's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
bit like Die Hard meets zombies. That's
$100%,
basic
yeah.
premise. I would say that even though it's called demons and there's magic to do with them and the way their teeth grow, I would say it's more like a zombie movie. It has the guts of a zombie movie where you're stuck in a location and these things are running fast and they'll rip you apart. And they'll once you scram by one, you'll turn into a demon.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very brutal. There's a horrible scene in it. If I'm not mistaken, it's the first one where the
Yeah, it
woman
is,
gets
yeah.
scalped, and I hate scalp stuff. Oh my god!
Yeah, and
It's
the blind guy who gets the fingers in his eyes, like, "Oh, as if he's been through enough." Horrible. And
yeah,
then
but
the and then the throat.
yeah, oh
But
yeah, he gets his eyes. Oh, yeah, but he
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't use his eyes. He's
No, I
like
know, but
he's thinking,
that's what's funny about it,
what
isn't
would
it?
have been better if they ripped his ears off? Oh come on!
I just love the way the demon knocks his glasses off and then
yeah,
sticks it's like, "Oh, well, I'm not losing out
yeah.
much." But, yeah, there's
He's
some
the,
horrific
he's the
scenes in
guess.
this movie.
Oh, gutted. Oh, you got my eyes. I love my eyes.
But one thing you can say about this movie, those demons are
oh my
terrifying. Like,
god, yeah,
they did such a good job on the design of these
yeah.
demons. It's still to this day when I watch it, I'm like, "Oh my god." I know, like you said, comparisons with zombies. There's no zombie in any film that's scarier
No,
than the demons in this. And obviously, you've got that iconic scene from the cover where they're running up the
yes,
corridor and you've got the light behind them. Oh my god,
yes.
it's just
It's
a
got
masterful horror movie.
got a bit of like John Carpenter's thing with the poster, with the eyes.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
It's really good. Yeah, I would
But
recommend it.
they bring that back great in Demons 2 as well, where they're running up the stairs and you can just see the eyes glowing.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah. We should watch it again next time we have a movie night. We should watch like Demons 2 or something.
100%,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, my last pick. Now, I did say at the start I didn't want like full on classics or full on very generic films that everybody knows, like Day of the Dead and things. But I had to put this on because it is an awesome film, and it's What We Do in the Shadows. Came out 2014. Now I assume like everyone must know this because there's a TV show of it, but you know, people might know it in the horror world, but a lot of people might have passed them by. It's so good. It's like a mockumentary, like a fake documentary set in New Zealand where these vampires again filmed by a camera crew, and it's like a day in the life of vampires. And it's directed by Taika Waititi. He's very famous now. He directed Thor and all those films, and Jermaine Clement, and they play vampires. And what's great about the vamp type of vampires they're playing are very like old fashioned, like Interview with the Vampire type vampires with the corsages or whatever they're called, like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what they're called. You know the type,
Frilly shirts and
frilly
stuff.
shirts, and they're all like dandies, and they're very like old fashioned, and but they're living in a real. So the rest of the world is a very normal world in New Zealand, very exactly like us, but they exist in it, and it is so funny. It is one of the funniest movies ever. Obviously, it made Taika Waititi a big name. I went
Yeah,
on to make lots of good films apart from Love and Thunder. That's a piece of shit.
and next
Um,
goal wins.
oh, I switched it off. I couldn't be asked. It was overly quirky. Anyway, back to this film. If you like spoofs, if you like vampires, there's one scene in it where, without a spoiler, where they try to go to have a night out, but nobody's inviting them into the nightclub, and vampires can't enter, and they can't get into any nightclubs. It's such a
You
good
have to
simple.
invite us in.
Yes, and they're like, no, man. They're like trying different clubs. It's so funny because you're like, yeah, that's what would happen. It's
It's one of
brilliant.
the most memorable and re-quotable movies ever
Oh,
made. They cut this movie down from about 9 hours, so they had 9 hours of footage that they had to cut down to like an hour and a half.
yeah,
Can you imagine the job they had to do to get
yeah.
the final product?
Oh,
Oh my god.
it's so good, and I'm gutted we're probably never going to see What We Do in the Moonlight or
Werewolves.
Werewolves. Yeah, I prefer
Yeah,
What We Do
yeah.
in the Moonlight. It's a better title.
Yeah, well,
It's
it
better,
ties in with the first one more, doesn't it?
but there's a TV show called What We Do in the Shadows, and that is brilliant as well.
There's
Uh,
2 TV shows.
Is it?
Wellington Paranormal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
But so
the
this is like
cops.
a proper. I wouldn't say this TV show is like a. It's not. It's a kind of
No,
a remake, but it's set in a different place with different set of vampires. But it's got similarities, but it's set in the same world. Uh, it's excellent. It's not a poor man's
yes, it
version of
is.
the TV show. It's because of the film. It's become its own thing. But
And
check
it's
out the film.
huge.
Yeah, check out this
Yeah.
film. I know you love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your
definitely.
What's your last pick then?
Right.
Is
Shudder.
it got subtitles again?
No. Right, I'm gonna give you an opportunity here, Jenks,
To
right? It's
guess.
Shudder original,
Okay.
and it's my favorite movie on Shudder.
Is it new or old?
A couple of years. Couple of years.
Uh, I haven't got a clue.
It's a found footage movie.
Oh, Deadstream.
Yes.
Yes. I should have guessed that. That's stupid.
We have spoke about this movie a couple of times. I know we have, but again, like you said, Jenks, we're doing a video about Shudder, and this is a Shudder original.
Yeah.
So I had to talk about it again. You can go back and watch our other videos if you want to. But Deadstream is basically about a cancelled online influencer. He's a YouTuber, and what do they call themselves? Vlogger.
Flogger, yeah.
And he's basically been cancelled, and he's trying to claw his way back into the limelight. So he tries to find or finds the most haunted house in America to try and get his viewers back, and he locks himself inside for the night, throws away the key, and obviously it's the most haunted house in America. Bad things start happening, but he's quite skeptical, which makes the film really funny. So the first half is very, very, very quirky, very funny
Yeah.
because he's got a great personality. Very likable but hateable at the same time. Like, you love watching him, but at the same time, you're like, I guarantee you this guy's an absolute dick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is. It's him running around like a buffoon for an hour, and he can see his views going up, and his, the interactions he's getting are amazing. Even though bad things start happening, he's like, I've got to stay because I'm going to be big again, and my views are going up. But as silly as the film is, oh my God, when it wants to be scary, it can be scary. And there's so many great found footage moments in this that are genuinely terrifying. But then
Yeah.
that's broken up with some great humor as well. And I know it is very similar to Evil Dead 2 to some extent. Very different story, but they've taken some beats from Evil Dead 2. But oh my God, I watched this film when it came out and I just fell in love with it. And I've watched it multiple times since. I'm a huge fan of this film. Now, if you love found footage movies, I highly recommend it. If you love horror movies, I recommend it. But mainly, if you like your horror a little bit silly, this is definitely one you need to watch.
Yeah, I have seen it. I did like it. It went a little. I've said it before. It went a little bit too silly for me towards the end. Went a bit too slapstick. I know you like things like that more than I do. I'm not completely against it. I like Evil Dead 2. I like Brain Dead. But the tone of the first half was so creepy, and I just thought, and it was still funny. But I thought, God, this guy's balancing humor and genuine scares really well.
Yes, yeah.
And then it went a bit too slapstick, and I thought, oh, you didn't need to do that. You were already doing a good job of balancing things. So I was kind of disappointed more than just pissed off about it, because I thought, oh, you was almost got me. But I've only seen it once. It may be worth watching it again. My wife hasn't seen it, so I might put it on for her and see if she likes it, and have another
Yeah.
chance to watch it. Yeah, good. Yeah, good pick. There's a few on Shudder. When I was making this list, I did notice there's a few on Shudder. I think I need to rewatch these because they have got some real good gems. You know,
Oh, they got so many good ones. Like, my only problem with Shudder is that 90% of the movies on there I own on Blu-ray or
yeah,
DVD. So I don't spend much time on there because of that reason.
yeah,
But the last couple of years, it's worth having Shudder because they are really starting to ramp up the original stuff.
yeah.
They've got original series, documentaries. Documentaries on there are great. They've got some really good
Yes.
in-depth documentaries for horror fans. You've got the Cursed films.
Mm.
You've got Dario Argento's new documentary, Panico. Eli Roth's History of Terror, or something like that it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah.
There's so much on there to enjoy, honestly.
Hey, and we're not even affiliated with them. Yeah, we should get paid just to plug them. Right, guys, if you enjoy horror reviews and rankings, please subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.